All right, so we are now going through the Edulastic, the 5.3 through 5.5 review. This is one that was pretty tricky. One of the things that you do need for this, a good majority of these problems, is your formula sheet. So you do want to have those formulas available, which are the sum and difference formulas, the double angle formula, the half angle formula. So that formula sheet you do want to have readily accessible, because that is the thing that I'm going to use to be solving these. So when you try them, you do want to have that available. All right, so for the first one, I don't need that. So I'm solving for cosine x. So I'm going to add 1, then divide by radical 2. So I get cosine x equals 1 over radical 2. And then if I simplify, multiply top and bottom by radical 2, I get cosine x equals radical 2 over 2. All right, so that's my x value is positive radical 2 over 2. So that's in the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant where my x value is positive. And I say x because it's cosine. All right, so going through, I want to select all of them. This isn't multiple choice. It could be more than one. So you want to go through and select all of the ones that give you an x value that is radical 2 over 2. Okay, so that is the one thing. And if you have one that is greater than 2 pi, you want to subtract 2 pi. And if you have one that is less than 0, you could always go counterclockwise on the unit circle. Wait, nope, that's clockwise. Clockwise on the unit circle. Or you can always add 2 pi to that. All right, so just make sure you select all of the answers that are correct. Okay, next one is a formula one where we do need the difference formula. So it says sine of x minus y. So it's subtraction, so it's sine of x times cosine of y minus cosine x sine of y. I ran out of room. Okay, so those two are together. All right, so I have what sine of x is, and I have what cosine of y is. What I don't have is cosine of x or sine of y. Okay, so both angles are located in the second quadrant. That's why they tell me this. So I'm going to do 2 of these, second quadrant. All right, so one of them is angle y, one of them is angle x. So I'll let that one be x. This one is y. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. This is going to be 4. And then sine is opposite over hypotenuse. This is going to be 12, negative 12, because it's in the second quadrant. All right, so then I could find what cosine x is by doing ca adjacent over hypotenuse, because that's the one for x. Okay, and then I could likewise find what sine of y is, which is opposite over hypotenuse for the y. Okay, and then you have to simplify by multiplying sine x times cosine y minus cosine x times sine y. Okay. So the next one is all kind of using the trig formulas. So this one is saying, where do you see sine cosine plus cosine sine? So sine cosine plus cosine sine, I'm looking at my formula sheet, and that's where sine of the first angle plus the second angle. Okay? And so we're going to use this and follow all of those sum and difference formulas and just see which ones would match up. So if you notice, this is the tangent one, so this is going to be tangent, and then you have to figure out, are you adding the two angles or are you subtracting the two angles? Okay, and then the last one is cosine cosine plus sine sine, so you have to figure out which one matches that, and are you adding the two angles or subtracting the two angles? Okay. All right, so same idea kind of with this one. We're going to be drawing two, because we've got U and V. So U is in the first quadrant, and sine is opposite over hypotenuse. And then, oh, my U looks mighty like a, let's see, hold on, let's see if I can do this. Oh no, that was really bad. Hold on, let me correct that. There we go. U, there we go. And then V, oh, V is in the second quadrant. And it is cosine -3 and 5. Okay, so then once again, we have to use the sum and difference rules. So let's just take the first one here. Sine of U minus V. So if it's sine of U minus V, we're going to be doing sine of U cosine V minus cosine U sine of V. Okay, so I'm going to have to go ahead and evaluate and find each of these, plug them in, and then it's going to be one of these answers here once I do subtract that. Okay, so it's kind of like the one right above that we just did. It's just that it gives you a couple of them that we need to do. All right. Okay, next one. Hopefully this shouldn't be too bad right off the bat when we draw. Our angle is in the third quadrant because it's between pi and 3 pi over 2. And here, if you see, we've got 2x. That means it's the double angle formula. So hold on one second while I flip to my double angle formula. So sine is so opposite over hypotenuse. And then I have this one is 4. Sine of 2x or 2 theta is going to equal 2 times sine of x times cosine x. Okay, so we're going to do 2 times sine x, which is -3 over 5, times cosine of x, which is 4 over 5. So this is 2 over 1, so we just multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom, and we get -24 over 25. All right, and we're going to go through and do the double angle formula for cosine and the double angle for tangent. Okay. Oh, and that's it. All right, guys, so good luck with the second attempt at this.